Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program PvP. I'm 4040 and my co-pilot today is going to be Mr. Mod. Say hi.
Hi.
Mr. Mod is here as a, would you say neutral representative would be an accurate description?
More than likely, yeah.
Well, a lot has happened since my last go, Mr. Mods, and as you know from last time, I'm going to do a very quick recap. What happened last time was I managed to assault Nightshade forces around the moon, completely wiping them out.
Yeah, I remember that. That was fun.
And then in your turn, you managed to break new ground by going to Duna, just here, as you can see. There, your stuff's all there. Doesn't look like anybody's done anything to your stuff. I can't go to them, but it looks like they're all there.
Best be.
Looks like they're all there.
Yeah,
It looks like they've got 3 things there. Anyway, currently, right now, and then Nightshade has launched after your go, and currently there's a bit of a war going on around the Mun right now. There's a pitched battle, as one would say.
You want the Mun, you can have it.
So you see all this, plus there's ships, there's things, there's explosions, there's stuff all going on right now. So what I'm going to do is, while this war is being raged, because I've got my 2 interceptors, and at the moment, the word is that one of my interceptors has been heavily damaged, and the second one is about to be engaged in combat. So I'm thinking, well, tactically now would probably be a good time to go for Minmus. But the question is, I don't have anything in orbit around Minmus like a satellite. So the only way I can go there in one go is by launching a capital class ship, which has some pros and cons. A capital class ship means I don't have to launch satellites. I can just send one up because they're big enough to have their own command and control. The other good thing is that they bring a lot of weaponry with them, usually, if you've designed them right, meaning they can do a really big punch. But, the other hand, they are a big sitting target. And which means that, well, when it's somebody else's go, I can't be in him to pilot him to defend myself. Right, so it looks like we've got what we've got. We've got Bumblebee Worker Delivery System as a target, and then we've got Celestial Mapping 1, Celestial Telecommunications 1, and a Bumblebee Drone 1. Right, the 2 ships I think I want to get rid of, the Bumblebee Drone and the Bumblebee Worker Delivery System, because if you remember from my last go,
yes,
we attacked some ships called Bumblebee. They seem to be like one of Nightshade's weaponized designators. He calls them bumblebees if they're attacking ships, maybe?
Rings a bell, rings a bell.
Celestial mapping might be something I want to have a look at. But basically, I want to send my capital class ship in orbit. Now, happily, it looks like most of them are more or less... I mean, there's a few off to the side, but they're all kind of within the same kind of inclination, I think. And I can't fast forward, obviously, because we're in the wrong screen, but I can't see which way they're orbiting. If they're all orbiting in opposite directions, then we might have problems. But we'll have to work that one out in a bit. But anyway, so that's a little bit of a brief roundup, is that the Mun is currently under assault. Nightshade Industries is going all out, and it appears that Minmus, he's either sent forces away from Minmus, but it looks to me like he's only got 2 combat vessels around Minmus. And if it's anything like last time, I managed to get rid of 2 of his craft with 1 of mine fairly easily. So I'm hoping that I can launch to Minmus and capture Minmus. So either, tactically speaking, he has to go back to Minmus to engage my capital ship, the Leviathan. Look at that part count, though. Look at it.
Just a few there. 942 in 16 stages.
16 stages. Although the staging is a bit weird now. It's got... I want people with lots of courage and no stupidity. So you want him and... him.
He'll do. There you go.
Okay. And I'm going to go straight to launch. Boop. This is the first time that this save file has seen this ship, because most of our ships are developed in a different save file. So, drum roll. This is the first capital ship developed by anybody in the series, in the first or second series. I did develop some stuff for the first series, but it never saw the light of day. And to save on glitchiness, if you notice that on my craft information screen, I haven't actually got many shortcuts. I've got engines and solar panels, but all my weapons are actually going to be staged. Because I was facing a few glitches, so manually adjusting the stages when necessary is actually more important than setting up the shortcuts. So this is Leviathan. Is it Leviathan? Yes, Leviathan.
That is massive.
It's a bit
That's
big.
what she
The
said.
actual ship we're launching is the ship in the middle here. So this is the bad boy. As you can see, it's lagging out just trying to move the screen around, and I suspect once it loads physics, bits will fall off because it's sometimes a bit hit and miss. I might sometimes have to load a couple of times for sometimes bits just break, and then you load it again and it's fine. So that's what it is. All of these clusters on the outside, these are all they are. These just get me into orbit. That's how heavy this thing in the middle is. So without further ado, it doesn't look like anything's broken or fallen off, which is good. All I do is bring out MechJeb and have a quick look. We've got utilities, prevent playmates. Limit throttle to 80% is one of the settings I'll need for this launch. It's quite a complicated launch. It's not just a simple point it upwards and go for it. At certain points I need to cut the throttle back so that the engines stop overheating, so they cool down slightly, which means when I eject, see these little decouplers here?
Yeah.
The little flamey things? These heat things up really quickly. They're one way of cutting a ship in half, in fact. When I eject these, if one of these little flames just washes over any of these engines, even for the merest of second, all of the engines on that side just explode. Because this holds them at 99% overheat. So yeah, I've had a few problems with engines just spontaneously blowing up because of that. So acceleration to that, so I need this up.
I was going to say, surely MechJeb prevents the overheating from happening.
MechJeb would prevent overheating, but it doesn't prevent flash overheating.
Don't forget to put smooth throttle on. Oh, you've done it already. My bad. I missed you do that. Sorry. So sorry. Sorry.
So let's set up my ascent guidance. Orbital altitude 200 kilometers. That's good enough for me. Edit ascent path, and I want this to turn over at 20, which is fine. Yep, that's all good. It's pretty much got itself all worked out there. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do, because this launch is going to take, in the real world, because of the lag, a redonkulous amount of time. The last time I launched this, it took 5 minutes in its own timed window, which is lagging out even though the ship's not moving now. It took, in the real world, about an hour. So you guys can probably watch this launch in about 8 times speed to some awesome music. So we'll see you guys in a bit.
4 of them are down now, so it's just eject them and get ready for the next 2. Oh, something gone bad.
Yeah, I have an overheat. Yeah, these things touched that one. You see the engine just disappeared? It's not even gone anywhere. Okay, we're going to have to redo the launch. Something dropped off.
I've seen it. It's a nuclear engine.
That's one of my drones just gone, so that's this middle panel. Why did you let go? You don't let go.
Do over or?
Revert to launch, because this does work. It's glitching, I think. I don't think it's not a bit that should drop off, because it didn't drop off last time. Oh shit, something went pop. I've no idea what died. I hope it's one of the outer engines. Something died.
Spin the camera.
See the overheat on one of mine's going right up. You see that overheat just went straight up there?
I did indeed.
Right, get the fuck out of there. Go. Right, damage report. This is its butt. This is the back end of it. I don't think there was any explosions from here. It looks like I've got both my craft. It looks like I've got my armor plates. Nothing's fell off. Ah, shit. What? As soon as I look, bits just fell off. Look.
Game.
And that was the back bit. That bit fell off. No, the bit on the other side. So this bit just randomly fell off when I switched to look at it, though. That's weird. Everything else is perfectly fine. It just fell off. Hello everybody and welcome back after a series of failed launches because we had a couple of glitches and one nice smooth successful launch. I have managed to get the first capital ship in history of this PvP series into orbit successfully with lots of fuel left in the fuel tanks to get me to where I want to go. So,
and where is that? Where are we going? You haven't...
To Minmus.
Oh.
But first of all, I would like to introduce you all guys to the Leviathan, which is the name of my ship. She is a armoured capital class ship. It's the only way to get a launch into orbit around a planet where you don't have any previous satellites in. The Leviathan is 8 engines on the back there, which is surrounded by an armoured panel, which hopefully will deflect any shots except shots straight up the rear. And
That's
even
nice
then,
shot.
I've got the 4 backup engines either side of the 4 inner engines. So hopefully, if you kill a couple of them, if there's an accident that happens to a couple of them, it doesn't completely die. What we've got up here is we've got our command and control boon, if you want to say that, boom or extension. It's got twin dishes there, which I'll open when we get on site. It also has backup command and control. If I flick over to where the this is the top of the ship here, which I'm showing you. On the top here, you see there's 2 communitrons here as well, just in case. Because if I lose all of my communitrons, then the ship itself can't act as a satellite as well as a combat ship. And so there we go. That's its physical. It's got engines, got backup things there. It's covered in armor mostly to deflect shots. It's got the same kind of firepower as some of my older dreadnoughts. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 double shots, so exactly the same firepower as the Firestorm bomber that we sent up last time.
How heavy is that thing?
Well, it's if I press F2 and bring the screens back in temporarily, let's have a look. Let's give vessel info. Let's see what it says. So vessel mass is 449.01 tons.
Ooh,
449 tons. And on launch, we had just shy of 1,000 parts. Obviously, most of the weight was made up with fuel stacks. As well as having its own personal front-firing weapons, it also carries a complement of 4 assault drones. Now, the reason why I say assault, if I flick it over, you might get a better view in the sunshine. There we go. An assault drone is a ship that has a lot of firepower. An assault class ship has a lot of firepower, but not a lot of armor. They're designed to go in and blow whatever it is up before it has a chance to blow you up. And it carries 4 of these. They're unmanned, and they're designed to travel a not massive distance from the parent ship and attack a target, and then should have enough range to come back. But if it doesn't quite have enough range to come back, then we send another one out, dock with it, because they've all got docking ports attaching them, which they can all dock to, so they can all refuel each other as well as refuel from the mothership. And on top of that, the mothership also has a kind of a secondary kind of payload. There we go. It carries a couple of nice little extra satellites there. So once I am in orbit, I can deploy them. So even if my mothership is destroyed, I still have satellites. So if any of my drones survive an attack, but my main ship is completely crippled, I can still carry out operations in orbit. So,
has it ever crossed your mind, 4040, that you have way too much time on your hands?
This has been in development for about a month. So this is a month's worth of working on this on and off. So this has not been possible to do it in one day. You build the frame in a day, and then you armor it up in a day, and then you test it and add stuff. But I mean, these things were an addition because of the launch stage was very, very efficient and got it up in orbit just like silly easy before I tweaked it. So I thought, well, okay, it's definitely got enough lifting power to bring some extra stuff. And as this thing is covered in docking ports, because it's supposed to be a mothership that, other things can come up. It's a fleet vessel. It's a fleet support vessel as well as being able to defend itself and launch assault waves of its unmanned craft. So kind of like a multi-purpose jack of all trades kind of ship. But then again, that's kind of what I imagine a capital ship to be. Really, it's supposed to support your fleet, have lots of fuel on board, be relatively tough. It might not necessarily win an attack if it's on its own, but it'd definitely be able to support the fleet that it's with. Unfortunately, because of the way this all works out, it's kind of having to go to Minmus on its own. So this might, I don't want it to be, but it might turn into a suicide run.
There's only way to find out, sir.
I might get one shot at this before Nightshades Industries just destroys it, because you can pretty much arm any ship with these anti-capital kind of weapons, and these anti-capital weapons have probably got enough impact to destroy this. But we shall see. We shall see, like you say.
Well, all I have to say to that 4040 is something I've completely forgotten. Shit, what was it?
No, have you forgotten?
I think I have forgotten.
Okay.
Bugger.
Alright, that's fine.
I'm sure it'll come back to me at some point.
Well, even with all its lights on, with 2 solar panels deployed, without... Go away. Don't want all of you randomly hanging around. What are you guys doing? Go away. There we go. That's all. There's a bit of a glitch there. Even with only 2 solar panels deployed and all the lights on, it's still not using up as much energy as it produces. So, again, I've gone with the backup thing of having the failsafe of having the little nuclear ion generatory things hidden within the superstructure. And they're everywhere, so even if you knock off all of its solar panels, and there are strategically around, it should still be operable. So it's designed to take a few hits, but... And it's got 2 cockpits. It's got a forward cockpit, which is used for gunnery, which is this one. This cockpit here. It's the same style of cockpit I used for the bomber. So we know that worked really well for helping with target stuff.
Yeah, it was alright, wasn't it?
Looking at the front. To be honest, it's the best view of all the cockpits that I've managed to find. But we also have a cockpit here. Kind of midway up, just sticking out slightly. So, yeah, 2 cockpits. That is one of the prerequisites to having a capital class ship, is it has multiple crew. You can't just have 1 crew member and then just run off robots and have robot pods everywhere. That is one of the big stipulations. That's if you want to build your own capital class ship as a budding entrepreneurial research company that you are.
I'll be looking into it, don't you worry. I will not say anything more than that right now, Mr. 4040.
Oh, right then. So, we've got into orbit. We have still got... Let's have a look how much fuel we've got left in these things. So, we've got a quarter of our fuel left, because these are just 2 tanks, and there's a quarter of this one. So, yeah, quarter of our fuel left. And our delta V says that we've got 825 meters per second delta V to get to Minmus on the outside stage. So I don't think that'll get us there, but I think it'll get us along a lot of the way there, and it will definitely help with us getting our inclination change. So, talking of inclination changes, I'm going to program in and do the transfer to Minmus off camera, just so you guys aren't bored by me just tweaking lines lots and swearing lots and making sure it works or it doesn't work. So, I'm going to press F5 to save now. And then, once it's saved, I'm going to say, I'll see you guys around Minmus if I get there. If I don't, I'll bring you guys back in. And if anything...
I remember what I was going to say now.
Oh.
Yes, what I was going to say was, now it's in orbit, it's actually a successful launch, meaning you can't roll it back, right?
Right, but I can F5 it back to here.
That's, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's
see you guys.
See you guys later. Bye. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Tune in next time for my assault on Minmus using the Leviathan. So we're going to see if this ship performs in combat. So in the meantime, I've been 4040. My wingman here has been Mr. Mod. If you enjoyed this, please slap that thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You're going to see the next mission. Bye now.